Hello everybody, let's just get the thumbnail up and we shall be ready. Who's already here? Hello Brian. Now you guys have been smashing it recently, so thank you everyone. That's the wrong thumbnail. Tell me if the thumbnail's up, please, people. And we'll be good to go. How are you all doing today? So, we're back to where it all began. We're back at Suzuka. We've already had one circuit. The season started with one old circuit and one new circuit, but this is where it all started. This is where GTEL started. Right here at Suzuka. It was a brilliant race. Only Div 1 has ever raced here, so Div 2 never raced here. I think Joe's actually trying to get practice starting. A lot of power actually straight away into that car. So we currently are in practice. Not quite started yet, we will be starting soon. Cam West predictably leading, but not by much. Look, that gap there is tiny. I mean, for night shift boys, Cam West and Alfa Pino, no one knows who's going to have it. Either one of them. I mean, Alfa Pino, I do believe he's leading the championship. Alfa Pino has the pace. I mean, we know on the one lap pace he's got it. We didn't quite see it Bathurst because it did get taken out by a back marker, his true pace. But at Fuji, it really showed through. It was... He just washed everything. So, chat, what's your predictions for this race? How do you lot believe it's going to fare today? Because I think it could be a good one. I mean, Suzuka last time we went here, it was... It was a brilliant race. I mean, if you remember, Casey's podium stolen on the last lap. But this place, it's going to be quite a special one. Alpha is Maisto Racing. It's Maisto's Div 2. Just going to make sure everyone's here. If I actually have a friend request, I do apologise if I haven't accepted it. So let's go check, make sure everyone's here. Oh wait, no, they're both Can-Am. So yes, if you notice, Juice and... who is it? Juice and Honk filling in over at Can-Am. We are missing Phantom. Also missing Fistomethy. So let's quickly go message them. That will be 13 people, and it is just Phil we're missing today, I think, then. And then there'll be the 2 indies. But... Phil we're missing today. Oh, fucking hell, I do apologise. So, obviously, Juice could actually rival them. Juice has backed out of Div 2, so... he's got some complications, but he's gonna... I'm sure Juice will enjoy his time out here. Give it one of... this may actually be his last run if all Can-Am guys can race in. But he will be back for Season 3. Is this a pit stop for a night shift boy? Yes, that's a nice set of overalls on the night shift boys, I must say, especially at the back. It's a nice combination. That Pepsi NASCAR-inspired Corvette. Both of the night shift boys, quite dominant. They have looked absolutely unstoppable. Here's the second of the night shift cars, the one leading the championship with his Max Verstappen helmet, the Irishman Alfa Pino. I think we'll be about to gonna get underway soon, I believe. I think everyone's asking for us to be started. They're not active, so we're gonna have to start. Just make sure everyone's ready, because we don't want to start and people not be ready. 8 people in the stream so far. Share the stream out to all of your friends, because we need them. Just make sure everyone's saying that they're okay, that they're all good. And then we'll be ready to start. Alfa Pino, he seems enthusiastic today. He's going to be happy just one last time out, for God's sakes. He is going to be buzzing. Just making sure we've got the majority. And then we'll be ready to go. So, quali start then. Let's see what strategies we can pull out. We're going back to where GTEL started then. Qualifying for round 3 of Division 3 Championship. Sorry, qualifying for round 3 of the GTEL Division 3 Championship is go at Suzuka. We've got Joseph Knoffel, Fridge, all starting on medium, so expect them to go into the pits, well, straight away. Is there any glitches further back as well, by the way? No, everyone's out cleaning. There's a few staying in the pits, I believe. It's just Prada, so Prada's being smart. You're just letting everyone get some space, as you can see here, like already through turn 1 and 2 as we run up. Turn 3 up the S's, down towards the Degners. It's, there's very little space between them. As look, you see the night shift racing boys really, Suzuka especially, it's one of those tracks you do need to give each other a lot of space at. No space, well, there's going to be major problems. Because one mistake, I mean, Dirty Air as well through has come through Degner too. Look, you need the space to get the power on as much early as possible, because the cars, certain cars will be quick through certain sections. And you hope that certain people just lift off and give each other a bit of space, but you never really know. Shit, that's the wrong thing. Oh, I've already swore, I'm doing my best. But either way, we continue. Who is leading this group? Not for Honk then. He saw not to roll out today either. Division 2 guy. very quick last week in his Ferrari, getting some practice in for tomorrow as well. He's now got another new liveried Ferrari. He's now got a very hippie looking. Looking at that car, you think you're on LSD. Pac-Man, you themed as he comes through the final chicane. And down towards turn 1 then. Turn 1 and 2. It's a very tricky one. Slight lift off and in straight heavy brakes. Try not to lock the front wheels as he runs down the pit straight. It's a beautiful looking livery, I must say. Further back, there's a bit of... Cam West is now backed off, or Cam West has pulled ahead from his teammates. Sorry, Alpino's given him a bit of space. That's nice from the teammates, and everyone's starting string out. And everyone that will be starting on the mediums is now into the pit. So Fridge and Joes, they'll be putting on some fresh softs. And they'll also be able to give themselves a bit of space. Prada, despite giving people some space on the first lap, so he gets some clean air. He does have clean air, but he's into 5th, and we're not having a real chaotic opening laps of qualifying. People have been respectful and giving people the space, which is quite needed, because the first 2 races it's been quite chaotic, and we'll see people going side by side through the S's. And further back, I think people are Fridge actually on an outlap with Elmer. I think, is that Elmer behind? Is Elmer on a hot lap? Elmer is on a hot lap, so hopefully Fridge gets out of his way and doesn't hold up the finish driver too much, as he does a bit, but Norway may have a bit of rivalry with there anyway. Fridge in his third ever GTEL race. He's been missing for a while. He came back last week and everyone was quite happy to see him. I was happy to see him. He had a good outing in his first race. Alpino's actually into the pit, so he didn't start on mediums, did he? No, I think just giving each other, maybe just wants ultimate space. Who knows? Maybe actually did an accident and caught some damage. Elmer he's into the pit, so he probably had a bit of a mix-up. And he'll go again. Maybe he caught some damage as well. But resetting yourself to the pit lane isn't really an ideal thing. Because think about how much time you lose. Not only how much time you lose, but fuel-wise as well. You're not having a lighter car, your fuel instantly gets topped up. That's why we see people pitting and take tyres and not a full tank of fuel, because you want the lighter car at the end. Makes qualifying a lot more exciting. Everyone sits their fastest laps at the end. Round the final turn though, through the Cassia Triangle, then Cam West comes across the line. It's a 2:07. That's 2 seconds off the qualifying lap we saw in Div 1 last season. Next then, Juice Round, the defending Division 2 champion. He goes provisional pole with a 2:03. Not long, he's in the pits. Prada, he's looking for a good qualifying. He missed last week in his first race out in Bathurst, wasn't that good. 2:04.7. PX4 Gaming, he goes third with a 2:02.8. Fridge, he didn't get to race here. He's on an outlap. So Marcel has finally got his own account. He's no longer BBR Huber. Cross fly, it's a 2:09.4, or yeah, 2:09.4. That's a slow lap. Kavak, he jumps into third. He got a podium in Bathurst. Helix looks solid. They've got 2 podiums in 2 races. They're going to be happy with that in their first season in the series. Alpino, he's coming through 130R then. Suzuka. This is a track everyone loves. I mean, not many people don't enjoy this track. It is such a historical track, and it is loved on the F1 calendar. In the past few years, racing's not been the best, but GTL, the racing, amazing through here. Nothonk, he's coming through Degner too. He's got Fridge to catch up to. Or is he passes Fridge? Fridge is on his first flying lap, and further back is that Havoc. No, it's Joseph. Joseph and Marcel, side by side wheel banging. I think Joseph's on a flyer as well. Joseph's on his first flyer, so he's going to lose some time there. And it's a longish track, 2 minutes a lap. It's not like Fuji. Excuse me. Cam West into the pits, then he's going to be out and have 1 more lap, I believe. Hopefully he's going to be able to claw that gap that is between himself and Juice. Juice, brilliant lap, I must say. He didn't get to race around here. That would have been interesting to see Juice race around Suzuka, but the Div 2 calendar started at Brands Hatch, which isn't on the calendar this season. Juice, he improves with a 1:59.2, so the first time under 2 minutes. Alpino's, he comes through the Dunlop corner and up towards Spoon Curve. Bit of drama here, if you remember. Prada, he improves with a 2:04.3. I don't know whether that puts him 5th, so Prada's doing well. Juice, he's going up VS's. Cam West on an outlap. Kavik, Elusive Fridge, he goes into 4th then. Joseph, that's a brilliant lap at 2 minute .1. Marcel improves with a 2 minute 5.1, and Kavik, he stays 4th, but a 2 minute .9. That's a brilliant lap by him as well. Alpino, he's going towards 130. Here's someone, let's see if he end of sector 2, what's his split looking like? Will it show? Come on, I beg. No, it does not. Through 130R, barely lifting through there. The car extremely planted, that Corvette. Trust in the car, trust in driver. He's going to have one more lap. So the bank lap for Alpino. How quick's it been? It's looking quick round the final turn, keeping it as tight as possible across the lines are going to be. He goes 3rd. It's a 2 minute .1, and neither of the night shift boys are on pole. And Joseph, the highest placed non-reserve. I mean, Juice, by a millisecond. I've just realised Alfa Pino down by a millisecond from the front row of the grid. Juice, he's coming round Spoon Curve. He's just got as Elmer. He improves to 5th with a 2 minute .9. He's making his GTEL debut. He's meant to be in the past 2 races. He's just been off. He's going to be happy with that. Marcel, he needs to improve a lot, and Noffelhonk still hasn't got a solid lap in yet. And he's got engine damage. Noffel might have been one of those unfortunate boys. It's a repeat of what happened with Schrager, who's also not with us. There's only one BRT car with us this weekend, as neither of the reserves can be here. Juice, he improves again with our 159.1, and we're approaching Division 1 territory with the times here. And he's having a flyer in that Nissan for the Can-Am boys. Cam West, he's coming up towards Degner 2. Prada improves again, but doesn't make up any ground. He goes on to his last lap. He's going to have an absolute flyer on the software. We're a few laps old now. Noffelhonk, he's got engine damage. That will be his qualifying. It's going to be a repeat of what Schrager had over at Bathurst. Noffel won't have time because he's going to have to pit. That engine damage has really ruined his qualifying. Alfa Pino, he's coming through 130R then. Cam West, he's just behind. So down towards the Casio Triangle. Noffelhonk, he sets his own lap then. So at least he gets a time in, but it's definitely not a respectable one to challenge anything. Alfa Pino around the final turn. Is he going to improve? I don't think he will. Let's find out across the line. He does improve into 2nd. to 159.666, the devil's number for a devilish lap there by Alfa Pino, and he still has time to spare for one more lap. Cam West, he's looking to improve. 3 tenths up, bit shaky on the curve through 130R. Needs to find 2 tenths through this final sector on Joseph, as Joseph is entered the pit, so that's his qualifying done. Somebody spun at 130 yards, not surprising. 130 yards, an easy place to spin. Calix in the pits, that'll also be his qualifying done. Cam West around the final turn, can he improve? He does, but not enough. That is his qualifying done then. Or did he get over with enough time? He did! Cam West just made the cut, it had just turned 0. So Cam West, one more lap to fly then, as that's one of the tri-drive cars. Can we see who it is in the background? No. Is it Elmer? No, it's not, so it'll be Marcel. So Juice, he's on another lap, but this lap's... he's on provisional pole. It's not going to improve him, but Juice then, his qualifying is done. Joseph onto the medium, so he could be on an alternative, or he's definitely going to be on an alternative strategy in that Helix car. So let's see what that can make a difference. It's definitely going to be impacted at the start. You're going to be on the better tyre. I think this is one of those tracks where start's important, especially up VS's. You're going to want the better tyre, you're going to want the more grip. So expect second and third stints on the mediums here, not an early first stint. But if he can pull it off, he did it last time, he gained a lot of positions here. That's how Joseph got the podium last time, down towards 130R then for Alfa Pino. He's down on his time. Cam West, as he comes through Spoon, or as he runs up towards Spoon. Alfa Pino then, the last guy, or one of the last 2 guys which can really challenge for pole then, round the final turn. One more turn to go. Has he found that extra time he needs? I don't think he has. Is it Juice on pole? One more guy to come then, down towards 130R. Cam West, he needs to find 400ths on Joseph to put it into third. What's the split time? He's down by 3 tenths, so Juice's pole is almost secured. He's going to have an absolute amazing final sector, and I just don't think there's enough time in the final sector to find 4 tenths to put him into third. So, round the final turn then, where's Cam going to be? Cam West. He doesn't improve, so it's Juice Ram on pole in Division 3. Alpha Pino also in second on the front row of the grid. Second row of the grid then, Joseph and Cam. Row 4, it's row 3, sorry. 5th place for Elmer and Kavuk in 6th. Better qualifying than he had last week. Fridge still trying to find his way back into GTEL with that Jag, puts it on 7th. PX4 rounds out of the top 8. Prada's looking to try and find his first points in GTEL. He's just on the verge of it. There's confirmation of the results. Juice Realm, Alpha Pino and Joseph, the top 3 spots. So then, 1 hour of Suzuka. Who is ready? So here's the grid then. 4 round 3 of Division 3 GTL Championship then. Juice Realm on pole, followed by Alpha Pino. Row 2, Joseph and Camus. Row 3, Elmer and Kavuk. Row 4, Fridge and PX4 Gaming. Let's see if we can see the lights. If they will load in. You see the lights then. 5 lights on. And we are racing. It's a false start by Alpha Pino. Sorry. We are racing. Alpha Pino's going to fall right down the order of that false start. Penalty's going to have. He falls right down the order. That's a terrible start then by the championship leader. But the inside line for Camus to go down towards turn 1. Juice holds the lead, but Elmer moves into second prematurely as Cam and Elmer have a flying start down in 4th. Alpha Pino after his false start, and Fridge, he's got himself up into 5th. It's a brought line there by Kavuk, though he flies himself back into 5th. Prod's had a good start and got himself up into 7th. So's Marcel, so there's been another false start further back. PX4 Gaming drop down, and Joseph's had a stinker. Joseph's gone down to 10th. So what's happened there with Joseph? Let's have a quick replay of the start. Was there a false start by Joseph? It won't show because we've botched it. Welcome to GTL, home of poor quality. Juice then down towards Degnan 2's already pulled out a second and a bit lead, followed by the 2 Night Shift Racing wheels have got himself back into the podium spots. Elmer in 4th as they run up towards Dunlop Curve for the first time. Brod's got all sorts of shaking. Down in 6th there as he's got past Fridge as they run up towards the Dunlop Curve for the first time. Any moving going on, and will try to find his way through on the Greek, and that's a brilliant move by him. They're skidding off at the background. There's been a massive chaos. What's happened here? Down at Dunlop Curve then. Joseph, let's ride on board with him. Can he get a bit of an idea what goes on? Marcel runs up towards Dunlop Curve. Does he cause it? Is he involved in it? Oh, Marcel sends it, and he just causes a massive pile up. He hits PX4 Gaming, and then Fridge, he's caught up in that as well. So Marcel and then PX4, bit of a revenge push there. What's happened here? What? PX4 Gaming then as they run up through Spoon. It's a dramatic first lap, especially at the back. PX4 Gaming. Just a bit of revenge. Oh, Marcel goes a bit deep into the turn then PX4 follows him through. Up at the front then, through the Casio Triangle. Juice Ram leads at the end of lap 1 then of this hour-long race. Kavuk and Elmer at the back then fighting heavily for 4th. Cam West and Alpha Pino in 2nd and 3rd for Night Shift Racing. It's going to be a drag race between the Porsche and the Subaru. The Subaru's going to have the better top speed, but for this Porsche, a lot better in cornering. Down in towards turn 1 then. Elmer has it very nicely secured. Kavuk bails out of it, doesn't want to push anything. Cam West got himself a 1 second penalty. That'll be for corner cutting further back. Prada, he's going to be worrying about Norfolk because of the flying start from 11th, got himself into. Sorry, Joseph's going to have to worry about Norfolk down in 8th. And then the gap to the guys ahead. These guys are all going to have damage, and Marcel's actually got away with damage there as he goes off down off the S's at turn 5, I believe that is. It's a very tricky one to get over the corner names right. And Fridge, he's on the medium, so the highest placed medium runner. Let's remember, we need to get our spicy list out with Juice. He sets a purple first section. It's to be expected for lap 2. And now the Night Shift boys just have to put their heads down and try and close the gap. Can-Am have a brilliant chance to secure a lot of points. 2 quick reserves filling in for them today, as they've not really had a strong start to the season as we expected them to have in Div 3. Night Shift very much been the predominant better North American team as we run down towards Spoon Curve. Alpinio pulls to the left-hand side, sorry, as he looks for a move onto his teammate, but they're not really going to fight ahead. I think there's going to be a bit of team orders, just going to try and get the heads down. Close up to Juice. Alpinio's got a nice run as they run down towards 130R. He's going to have that move done, it seems. Side by side already through 130R. We're only on lap 2 of the race. No, Alpinio thinks better of it as Cam just bumps his wheel there. Lets him know that he's there. Doesn't want to cause any problems, but Cam takes a bit of a wide line as they go down into the Casio triangle. And Alpinio's got that move secured quite nicely from his teammate's mistake. Further back, Van Kavak, he's fallen off 1.3 seconds off his teammate, and 3 seconds back is Prada. Hopefully he can get his foot down. Prada's running in a good spot here, but Joseph, he's copped to the back of him, and Prada's going to hoping he can scrape some points here. 2 minute 3.5, that's already his best, fastest lap so far. It's faster than his quali lap. Nothing down at the back in 8th there. He's already gained up 3 or 4 spots as he started down in 11th. So, who's on what tyre? Juice soft, Alpha soft, Cam soft, Elmer soft, Kavak soft, Prada soft. Joseph is the highest placed medium runner. Remember, he started 4th and he had a terrible run, but if he can claw back on these mediums and gain some positions, that's going to be a brilliant medium stint. Remember last week at Fuji, he went really early on the mediums, and actually it was a strategy which shouldn't have worked out, but it did, as Prada goes deep up the top of the hill. Bit of nudging as they run down towards Degna 1. But Prada loses out that place to Joseph, and Prada can't really do much about it. Down in 8th, Honk, he's on mediums. PX4, softs, as he's also got damage to contend with. Marcel, he's on softs, and it's mediums for Fridge. Fridge is going to have to work up a lot of time. He's 26 seconds back already at the end of lap 3. And we're only 5 minutes into this race as Juice runs to Spoon for the 3rd time this race. And I think the Night Shift boys are now starting to slow it down a bit, calm it down. Elmer, his GTEL debut, he's having a nice running in 4th. He's got a bit of a penalty to get rid of as well. Might have to worry about Kavak being in that slipstream range if he starts getting rid of it. Good overtaking spots here. Turn 1. Dunlop curve if you get a good exit out of Degna. Run up to Spoon Curve and 130R if you think your dick's big enough. We saw it a lot last season in Division 1 as Elmer goes very deep into the chicane, has to take evasive action, and that might be where his penalties come from. I'm sure that's going to increase a bit more, and then yes, you can see another half-second penalty, and Kavak's just going to be a bit closer in his wing mirrors as he gains time. See, Cam can see his teammate all up in his teammate's mirrors, but not close enough to really pose a threat. Just have to get their heads down and close that 1.3 second gap to Juice. Everyone's quali pace is already been outdone by their opening few laps. It's a 1:59.8 for Alpinio as they run up the hill towards Degna, or up towards the Degnas, up the S's. Through turn 7, down towards the Dunlop hairpin. Through Degna 1. The Degna's here and Degna 2. There are many features about Suzuka. The S's, the Degnas, Dunlop hairpin, Spoon Curve, 130R is the main reason, but it's also a figure of 8 formation. There's so many unique things about this track that people love so much. It makes the racing amazing, especially in GT3 cars. It's such a testing track. There's very little room for error here. And it is very much a circuit that definitely proves who the best drivers are. Five seconds to lead then. The Juice Rum has to Alpinio. Alpinio might have made a mistake sometime, but it's half a second down. That gap's gone up by quite a way. Juice, he's coming through the Casio triangle. This might actually be the new fastest lap of the race. He's already got 2 points for pole. Cross the line at 1:58.8. That's a brilliant lap. This is definitely Div 1 territory. I can't remember what the pole position time or fastest lap was for Div 1 last season, but definitely that's a brilliant lap, and that'll be an extra point at the end of the race if it stays that way, and I'm sure that's going to come down even more at the end of the race. This is the area where if anyone's going to do a funky strategy, this is where we might see it happen. We saw Can-Am said they were going to do a funky strategy. He's now got himself down into 9th as he's got rear bumper damage. So something's actually happened to him somewhere along the race. So, Prada catches the curb and he's drifting into turn 1 and 2. That's so easy to do. We saw it happen so many times in Division 1 last season. So many spins there at turn 1. It is so easy just to go a bit too deep, catch the curb, and your race is ruined. Up towards turn 7, then at the top of the hill as they run down towards Degner 1. Degner 1 probably my favourite part of the track because it takes so much confidence, especially in a Super Formula car or an F1 car. Any type of Formula car, you have to really big dick it through there. I mean, it definitely takes a lot of confidence to carry as much speed through there. And it is definitely a place where I can gain so much time. If you remember the famous moment, JD taking 2 seconds a lap out of Devil, looking like JD's strategy's worked out and he's going to close the gap to Devil and JD's going to win it all. But alas, it didn't fall that way. JD fell victim to the Mazda's love to spin and the Degner's walls, or the Degner 2's love of ruining your front bumper. It's going to be even worse now with heavy damage on because that can definitely end up down in the gutter if you spin like JD did last time at Degner 2. Hit the wall like he did, that could definitely be your engine getting hit, and you've got to go half a lap, maybe a bit longer, with that engine damage. Juice as he's down towards turn 1, nice and clean. 1.5 seconds the gap between the two night shift racing teammates. Alfapino definitely now starting to assert himself as the quicker guy. As let's compare their fastest laps. Yeah, nearly a second, 7-8 tenths is Alfapino's fastest lap to his teammates, and after the first sector he's not far off his older personal best as they run up towards end of sector 2. It's a short sector 2, only a few curves, the main aspect here being the Degners. Take a bit more curb there on the exit of Degner, on the entry to Degner 2. 1.4 seconds down, but he is pulling away from his teammate. He's trying to get his foot down and catch Juice, but Juice ahead, he's comfortable in lead, 6.5 second gap. And now we're going to start to find the rhythm as he's just about over halfway on his fuel tank. The Can-Am racer is just going to want to get his head down and start putting in as many laps as possible. Just get consistent, find a rhythm. As last lap you can see, he kept improving, and then last lap a 2-minute point 1. Maybe that's the tyres getting a bit older, but just needs to find a solid rhythm, put the laps in, and then just get ready for your stop. Have brilliant in-lap, brilliant out-lap, and just find a rhythm. Juice is a seasoned veteran. He did a whole season in Div 2. Granted, Div 2 was a short season, but he had 2 less races than Division 1, but nonetheless, he's definitely going to be used to it. So Juice across the line then. By 159.6, Alfapino a 2-minute point 5. Further back then, the battle for 6th. We've got 2 of the Helix boys battling Noffelhonk, who's started 11th and got himself up to 5th. So, what could Noffelhonk have done? Where's Noffelhonk's fastest lap? Noffelhonk's actually a 2-minute 1.9. That still would have put Oliver and Joseph. This is similar to what we saw last time. Joseph into the pits then, quite early on. Cabot pulls out to the left-hand side, tries to find a move onto Noffelhonk, goes very deep into turn 1 though, gets onto the gravel, and that's going to give Noffelhonk some well-needed rest, I believe, because it was looking like there was going to be 2 Helix cars ganging up on him, and Noffelhonk may have gained a lot of placing, maybe showing he's a quick guy, but Kavik is no slouch. And neither is Joseph, but I think Joseph, after last race, he was very happy with how his strategy went, pitting very early on and then taking the softs a lot longer than you would expect them to. and just got himself into a rhythm, and it was nice and comfortable. He ended up coming home and bringing it in third, or bringing it home in third. So Kavak, is he going to be in this lap as well, or is he just going to stay out and maybe try splitting the strategies and see when both strategies are used which is quicker? Because with one of them they're going to gain some positions, but maybe they should think about the championship doing it and both doing it. Prada got himself up to 8th, PX4 Gaming into 7th with the pit stops. Fridge and Marcel both actually out behind Joseph. Joseph, he's gone on to the soft, so he's completed already the strategy that we speak so highly of. I think as well Fridge actually has, because didn't Fridge start on mediums? I believe he did. So Fridge, he's also actually completed the fabled strategy ages ago. As where is he on track? Juice is actually, sorry. Fridge is not far off being lapped. He's only at 1 minute. He's 1 minute 59 back. So not far behind. Then is Juice. Alfa Pino really starting to bridge a gap. 2.6 seconds is the gap to his teammate. That gap between second and third is growing faster than the gap between second and first. So Alfa Pino is going to be happy with that. And maybe just because now Juice is faster, the medium tyres. Juice may not actually be suited to the mediums. He's had a lot less medium running than Alfa Pino and Vatlot has. Because Juice's medium running, he's tried to get them off as quickly as possible. He just made sure he's had them on. And he's only actually had one full race. So these guys have had a lot more medium running practice, I must say, than Juice. This may also not have been expected to race round here, so preparation for this race. Who knows how good it is for Juice, and Juice's quali lap pace and soft running might be good. But later in the race, if his medium or even hard running, if he wants to really go that far out, if it's not on it, then he's really going to find himself struggling. Down in fourth, Elmer, 2.4 seconds of the gap between Kavak and Noffelhonk. And speaking of them, Kavak actually got past Noffelhonk, so has Noffelhonk made a mistake somewhere? Remember, Noffelhonk's also on the mediums, so he may be going a little longer, as we're just over 50 minutes into this race now. Remember, there's also probably going to be some protest happening after the race, so that might be something we have to look out for. But Noffelhonk, then the medium running gets it done early. Approaching that pit window, or the expected pit window of around about 20 minutes then. Noffelhonk then through 130R. He's going to lose a lot more time, especially on mediums through there. The softs are going to gain so much more time for a corner so tricky as 130R. Also depends on the setup. If you're going for more of a downforce setup, you're going to be gaining a lot more time through there. But you're going to want, there's a lot of straights through. You're going to want some top speed running as well. But it's this is like many circuits, or like many old circuits, like Suzuka is. It's a very classic track, you could say. It takes a hell of a lot of effort to get the right setup, and it can also change on the day. Noffelhonk really nailing the line through there, but misses the apex at turn 2. But getting as close to the edge as possible without really risking a spin, which we've already seen one of them. We've already seen one spin, but there's probably been more. And there's more to come at the weekend, so if you want to know what's coming up this weekend on this channel, 7 PM tomorrow, Division 2 is live at Suzuka, and then 7 PM on Sunday, Division 1, their showdown is live at Suzuka. Can anyone in Div 1 dethrone Ruben? He's unbeaten in GTEL. Let's find out on Sunday, 7 PM, here on the GTEL YouTube channel. But back to the race event. Juice round 9 seconds of the gap. He's actually having a fly of a lap. What's the split time? He's a second off, but he's still faster than what Alfa Pino is behind, as that gap's gone up by at least a second this lap. Let's see if the split time from him. Well, he's behind. Down towards the Casio Triangle. I mean, the Nissan, a very big bulky boy. It's quite heavy for... You'd expect the Corvette to be quicker, but the driver in that car is so good, and we're already seeing, looking at the tyres, especially on Alfa Romeo car, evidence of what we saw at Fuji, of that Corvette, despite the Corvette being really good and winning 2 of the 3 races last week, that Corvette's tyres are not looking strong. So people in Div 1 like Dino Rod, they're gonna have to very much be concerned, and people like Traegu might just be happy that they're not racing today. Down towards turn 1 though, the battle for 4th, tucked right into the slipstream as Kavak makes a nice move on. Elmer does a bit of contact at the rear though. Kavak just about holds on. Let's get a bit of an onboard lap. If it will show, let's see. Down towards turn 1, let's ride on board with Kavak. Tucked into slipstream, and we're doing a bit of weaving. Very late move, getting as much of the slipstream effect, getting much of the slingshot. And actually, it would look like Kavak was going to go a bit deep into turn 1, but that bump kind of helped him out a bit, and Kavak takes 4th quite nicely, and Kavak's really moving up the field quite quickly. He's now finding some life in these softs where everyone else seems to be struggling a bit, as Elmer goes down to 5th. And Kavak 18 seconds then off the back of Cam West and Alfa Romeo. Juice, he's got a nut. Juice can go a lot longer on fuel as well if you look. He's not really got to worry about fuel. He can still go on for quite a while compared to the others behind. Alfa Romeo red lighting it. Will he be in this lap? Cam West as well in this lap. So has Juice been doing a bit of fuel saving? Will Juice continue going on because his softs can last so much longer? Could Juice maybe go for a 1-stop? I don't think he's got enough fuel for that. But into the pits then, I'm guessing we're going to see. Now, Alfa Romeo out on another lap, so that's going to lose a lot of time. But into the pits, definitely then with his penalty. Cam West. Here we go then, let's see. The night shift racing boys, they're going to be tested for the first time in a race of this week then. Their first pit stop. Waiting for Cam West. He won round 1 in Bathurst. It was a brilliant win. Some might say it was because of the crash of Alfa Romeo and Marcel. Elmer, he's also into the pit. So, try drive. Let's see how they can service their Finnish driver in his debut here. Honk, he's also into the pit, so he's getting rid of his medium tyres. So, what tyres is Cam going to go on? Is it going to be softs? Middle stint, medium seems like the best option, and it is for Cam. Who's next then? Elmer. He's just getting some fuel into that car. He's also got a second penalty. I wonder where that's come from. Nuffle might gain a bit of time. But the undercut here and how much fuel they take is going to be quite important, as that's a lot of fuel going into the car. He's sat waiting a long time as he goes on to the mediums, and Honk is out on softs. So, Elmer and Nuffle also completed their strategy. So 5 drivers now completed out of the 11 already in the first stint. Juice, will he be in this lap then? Because Juice can go on a lot longer. Or does Juice try and minimalise the undercut then? That'll be gained. You will also see Alfa Romeo is not pitted, and Alfa Romeo is very close to red lighting it as he gets past Marcel. His tyres are really not looking that good. And Alfa Romeo, with his fuel saving as well, that's looking like it's going to do, he's going to be under serious threat from Cam West as Juice is into the pits then. As Alfa Romeo, look, that fuel is going to go. He's not got long. He's literally just got the Casio triangle to go. But he's going to cut it very short. Just about makes the pit entry. That would have been embarrassing if you missed it. But look, in the pits, 0 fuel. He's going to have to fuel a long way here. There's that Can-Am car. Beautiful looking car, I must say, on that Nissan. Just gets its fuel topped up. But Alfa Romeo might be under some serious threat of Cam West then coming through and passing. Where is Cam? He's coming through 130 on now. And he's got a long way to refuel. Juice is out on the mediums. Where's Alfa Romeo going to come out though? And what tyre is he going to come out on? Round the final turn, I think Alfa Romeo is going to be okay. PX4 Gaming is also into the pits. So Alfa Romeo, he's going to be coming out. If it will show, he's going to be safe in third, but his teammate will gain some time on him with that undercut and with that fuel problem we saw. And now Kavak's running quite nicely. So and add Juice as well. Add him to the list, as Juice has also gone to the mediums. So like I said, these early medium runners, definitely watch out for them. Prada, he's into the pits then, as he's running in 9th, I believe. I think PX4 is ahead of him. PX4, he's out of the pits. He also goes on to the mediums. So a lot of people actually choosing to start on the mediums or do a middle stint on the mediums. I mean, a final stint on the mediums not the best. It's a quick tyre change there. Let's hope they can just get some fuel into that car a bit quicker for the BRT boys. It is needed. So PX4, he's also done. And Prada, where's he going to fall down to? Gets that rear damage done, or gets that rear damage repaired, and he's on the mediums as well. He comes out 120 behind. 28 seconds back on PX4 Gaming as he runs down towards turn 1. 20 seconds, or near 30 seconds he's got to find then to take this podium. And Marcel, he's also pitted. I believe Marcel takes out one of the brake boards, I think that was. So only one more car, I believe, hasn't taken both sets of tyres. If you want to know of these strategies, well, when I say that, I'm just referring to that the drivers have to use both sets of tyres. And the last guy to do it then is into the pits. So will he go onto another set of softs? He's taken these softs a long way and they're looking nice. If he wants to, you got to find 10 extra minutes though on the, if he wants to fuel save. But that Helix car went a long way and still didn't run out of fuel. It would have. But it's going to be interesting to see then, because remember, Joseph pitted at 10 minutes in and now Cavoc's pitting at 25 minutes in. So it's going to be interesting to see what these Helix guys are doing. They're definitely both doing a different strategy. By far, a very different split strategy. There's 15 minutes between the stops, which doesn't sound like much. But in endurance racing, it's a long way, and everyone is now on the ideal tyre, has now used both sets of tyres. When you don't, if you don't use both sets of tyres, well, it's going to be a penalty, and by penalty, it's disqualification. That is the harshness of the penalty. So, even if you use hards all 3 stints, or however many stints you use, you'll still get disqualified because rules are rules. Cavoc, he comes out in 5th, so he's actually gained a place then. He's gained 1 net place. Nothonk down in 6th. He's had a bit of a slowish start, but Nothhonk's now going to be on the soft tyres to close it down to Cavoc. Cavoc though does have the freshest tyres on the track, but Joseph is also on the softs, and that's who he's looking to catch, who's actually not far off Cam West. So both Helix boys having a nice gains. And remember, at the end of lap 1, Joseph was at the back, or he was near the back after his spin, coming into Spoon Curve, drifting a bit, and he's going to have to take a bit of evasive action, slam on the brakes and lose a bit of time to Cam West, as he was right onto the back of the Brit running under the UAE flag. As Gran Turismo doesn't let you choose your flag, it's whatever your residency is. So Cam West looking to claw back some points after winning out on Bathurst and then coming 4th after spinning out at the final turn in Fuji, giving himself a bit of damage and causing himself some problems. And maybe he does it again, maybe that can give Joseph another podium. But let's actually go through the Division 3 standings. So, who's really going to be gaining here? Who's going to be helped out the most? Let's go driver's standings then. When they load. Remember, Juice Realm isn't really going to have much of an impact. Juice Realm is just here as a reserve. He's not going to really challenge anything, but he will definitely challenge up at the front with Can-Am. So Alpha Pino, he leads by 10 points to Cam West, who's on 23 points, whilst Alpha Pino's on 33. It's a close gap for second with both Helix drivers. Joseph, he's ahead of Cavoc by 2 points. Joseph's on 16 points and Cavoc's on 14. Not crazy. The highest place independent tied on 14 points with Cavoc, and then Fister Mephi 13 points as he got a podium last week, I believe. He's not far off the back of, he's only 1 point behind Not Crazy and Cavoc, so there can be big gains here. Remember, Not Crazy is also not racing, and neither is Fister Mephi, so big gains for Cavoc then. Also finishes ahead of his team, which he currently isn't running on track, where they're both running different strategies. there could be some gains there. Beamer Gang, he's in, PX4 Gaming's in 7th on 4 points. Tied with him, Beamer Gang is also on 4 points. Then the last point scoring person is Elusive Fridge on 1 point. Prada, Shregu, Marcel, all yet to score in the championship. And so is Elmer, as Elmer's on his debut. Team standings then. Let's see, is Joseph very close to the back of Cam West as I actually quickly look up down towards the Casio triangle. Joseph teases to move a bit there. Can't quite pull it off, but Night Shift Racing lead by 26 points. They're on 56 points after 2 races. A brilliant start. Followed by Helix, who are on 30. Then Can-Am on 4 points. Now, if not for Honk and Juice, they're going to be hoping to gain a lot of points here. Britannia are looking to score their first points. Prada's down in 9th, and he's not really gaining on PX4 Gaming, so they're going to be hoping that he can. And then also Try Drive yet to score, but Elmer, he's going to be doing them the job of hopefully scoring them their first points. Not crazy, he leads the Independence Championship by 1 point to Fister Mephi. So then, back to the race. As they run up the S's through turn 7, down towards Degna 1. Can't skip Degna 2. Or can't skip Degna 1, sorry. Joseph, is he going to look for a move? It's not really an overtaking spot, but you can get it done if you're big ballsy. You just have to make sure you don't force the car off track, because that could give yourself a penalty. He's tucked right to the slipstream. If he's got a good exit and he's gaining, but I don't think he's going to be gaining enough to really challenge for a move into the Dunlop hairpin. He takes a bit of a wider line, trying to get some air of that car as he has a bit of a tank slapper, but it's going to be a longer run than up towards Spoon Curve. Not the easiest place to overtake, but when you can get it done, it looks good. I'll put the front quickly. Juice, 17 seconds to lead now. A very devilish-like performance, if you catch my drift. Instead of 666, so it is 888. Alpha Pino, 4 seconds ahead of his teammate Cam West, who's under a lot of pressure here by Joseph. Is going to get a bit of a helping hand by Marcel, who's coming up to the lap, down towards 130 yard. In that slipstream then. Joseph tucked into the back of Cam as they run through 130 yard. Bit of dirt, yeah, they both follow each other offline. Cam goes a bit wide. That could be a bit more of a penalty. Remember, Cam's also got that half-second slowdown penalty, which at the end, if it finishes like this, could have a big impact. Not Honk. He's in 5th, and he's got himself ahead of Kavak again, so I think those two might be going out. Marcel's splitting the two drivers, as if Marcel actually moves across the line. Marcel's trying to defend from Joseph, and that's cost Joseph a bit of time there as he sorts back ahead of the Brit. Joseph a bit deeper, and Marcel goes through, completely giving no cares about the blue flag rules. And it's going to be a long run up the S's then, and Joseph's going to lose out big time. Noffel, just behind Noffel then is Cavakas, both BNR/Helix boys in battles here. They're both BNR guys. They're both quick. They're both getting podiums, but they still have a lot of pace to find to try and catch the Night Shift boys, which, if it wasn't for Juice being here, they would be leading. But it's like saying if this wasn't here, this would happen. If Hamilton wasn't in F1, Verstappen would be champion, and so on. So on. If Kim Jong-un wasn't a leader of North Korea, it would be better, and so on and so on. But either way, that's the way it is. Not for Honk. He's starting to pull away wherever he's on the fresher rubber. Kavak's on the mediums now as he's getting his medium stint done, as he goes onto the AstroTurf at the end of Degna 2, but that Porsche's quite a stable car through the corners, so he holds onto it nicely. Doesn't really send it into a spin, and ended up ruining his race. Despite having to clear Marcel, who's caused problems for Cam West's teammate Alpha Pino at back first, Joseph has got ahead of him, and he's now in the slipstream of Cam West as they run down towards 130 off for the 16th time this race. As we're with just over 27 minutes to go then. Through the Casio triangle, the final chicane, 1 turn to go. Cam gets a bit more of his penalty off, and with that gap he actually had, with Joseph being virtually blocked by Marcel, Cam was able to pull a bit of a gap and then get a bit of his penalty off, so making the making the most of a bad situation, but for Cam it's actually a good situation. Just misses that curb, bro. If he got onto that curb or put two wheels just over it, that could have really seen Cam spinning. So that's really what happens when you go too deep into turn 1 and 2. You catch the curb, sends you into a spin. And it's not really your race done, you're not catching damage, but if you did somehow catch damage as the gravel trap didn't slow you down enough, well, that would not only be embarrassing, but it would also be painful. It's 2 minutes normally around, because turn 1, well, it's turn 1, it's the first turn, like, you've just come out of the pits. And that would be a long way to go, as Joseph, he's had a bit of a moment. Let's have a look what happened with Joseph then coming through the Degners. We were right on board with him. Bit too deep into Degner 1, and he's drifting across Degner 2. Plain and simple then. Driver error, Joseph too eager to try and gain some time. On the guys, onto Cam West. Cam's on his medium stint, so Joe's trying to get the best out of what he can. As we are approaching the second pit window. Now let's remember this, Joseph pitted 10 minutes into this race. He's taken these softs and they do not look terrible, they look amazing. He's took them 25 minutes. And he's still got fuel to spare, so Joe's had a really nice managed stint, gained some time, and when it comes down to soft on soft though, my money would be on Cam West for that final podium spot. Cam's going to want his revenge after last week, but I'm sure Joe's not going to let it go without fight. Cavok further back though. He's pulled a bit of a gap onto Noffelhonk, who's coming in from De Vriend sub-in at Can-Am, as Juice Rome, our race leader, who's sitting very pretty in front, 22-second gap. Well, don't know about you, I'm getting some deja vu vibes. It was about this gap that we saw from JD and Devil, if you remember. If you were there, the good old days, round 1 of GTEL, when it was only 1 division, now we've got 3. We are growing up so fast. Further back, Prada's down in 9th as he tries to gain some time at Spoon, but that's not how you do it, as he spinalers into the gravel, dirtying up his tyres. Fridge is a minute behind, but he's really not gaining on PX4 Gaming. Elmer, after a good qualifying, has found himself falling down the order. Up in 4th, Joseph, 11 seconds now as he's fallen right off the back. He's had a mistake again. Let's see if we can find anything that happened. Oh, he's off at Degner 2 again. Off at the Degners, and that's why he's lost 10 seconds and he's so far off the back of Cam West then. Well, that would explain a lot. So, Helix falling back after what was a good start for their drivers after, again, not really the best qualifying session, but nonetheless their race pace and strategy has been quite good, but it's now falling apart due to driver errors, and maybe it's time for the Joseph to pit. Maybe it's the tyres and maybe they're running out a bit. So let's see, Joseph, he's coming round the Casio triangle. Bit deep into turn 16, I believe it is. Yes, turn 16. So Joseph actually red lights it as well, so he'll be in at the end of this lap. Further back, I think that's Fridge. Yes, Fridge coming down the main straight. And Juice is also past Prod. 23 seconds to gap then. Juice getting a bit onto the dirty stuff, but it's a nice line, gets the power on quick. He's actually got a long way to go. Juice may be trying to one-stop this as Juice has the gap. Oh, no, I don't think Juice will. Juice, though, is definitely going to go for a late pit stop, or Juice tries to do a Reuben. Maybe Juice pits this lap. maybe Juice pits on line with everyone else and takes a lot more fuel than Alfa Pino, who's actually also been near enough doing the exact same thing. Maybe Alfa Pino's trying to get the jump onto Juice as well and try and do the same thing to him. But it's not quite working out, as you'd expect. And Cam West, well, he's definitely losing out big time. Joseph, in this lap then, is the call by B&I. He's got a long, flat-out way to go towards the line, but he should be safe on fuel, and it seems like he's nailed his strategy there. Kavak on the other hand, he's got a lot of fuel, half the tank, so that's ideally the best part of 15 minutes in that tank that a lot of the drivers have got. So, what, Juice, Alfa Pino and Kavak could actually pit within the next 2 laps and gain so much time on drivers like Cam and Joseph, who are going to have to spend a lot more time in the pits refueling. I mean, good 10-15 seconds, I would say, that they're saving into pits then is Joseph. He'll be going to a pair of softs. Everyone will be going to a pair of softs, I believe. There's no real need to go on to anything else, as everyone's done both sets of tyres already in the first and second stint. So it'd be weird for anyone to pick the mediums unless they're trying to go a bit longer, but softs for everyone, I believe, is Joseph. Where will he come out? Joseph, he's on soft, so yeah. Will Juice come in this lap? He's actually lost a lot of fuel in only a 1 and a bit laps, but Kavak, for Juice, Alfa Pino and Kavak, I'd say come in this lap. He's got 20 seconds to Cam West, but block the undercut by Joseph gaining some time on you, and Kavak really can gain a lot of time. I mean, 10 seconds was really the gap between Kavak and his teammate Joseph, and it could be pulled off. Kavak can try and go for a bit of a Ruben move, gain 10-15 seconds in the pits and maybe put himself ahead, and then he will be fighting 4th place, and we could have a nice little scrap at the end for the Helix boys. Elmer, he's now got himself up into 6th, but that's because Joseph behind's pitted. Elmer will be in within the next few laps, as his tyre's running, or his fuel's running low, and that's Fridge off into the background. Fridge is doing donuts at Spoon Curve. This is a nice reminiscent feeling, as into the pits then is Cam West, as he has red lighted it. And out come the night shift boys. That pit lane starting to become a bit active then for the final 20 minutes of this race. Alfa Pino, though, he continues as his teammate attempts to try and gain 9 seconds in an undercut. Into the pits also is Kavak and Noffelhonk as well. Now Kavak, he's going to be gaining a lot of time. I mean, it's a brilliant stint by the boys on the mediums. I mean, Noffel, he's been on the softs and he's struggled to really make up the time that he lost on the mediums in his first stint. But who's that that's out early? That's Cam West that's out really early, as he gets enough fuel into his car. That's way too much for this time though left. He maybe cost himself quite big here. Noffelhonk. Kavak, he's only now 7 seconds back on Joseph. How much fuel did Joseph take then? Because they're taking an excessive amount of fuel, I must say. It's not really needed. Prada, is he yet to pit? Prada may be in this lap and try and gain. PX4 Gaming, he's had a flawless run. He's someone that's really not got any talk yet. He's in 8th, it's only 1 point, but a clean race nonetheless is a good race when you've not really got the raw pace that the guys like Alfa Pino, Cam and Juice have. If you can just keep your nose out of stuff and be clean on track, well, that's sometimes good enough, and it's a goal that everyone should really keep in mind. Don't be too aggressive. Don't throw your race away. Don't ruin someone else's race. And obviously, these probably won't be the final standings. I'm sure there's going to be some protests to deal with. As much as I'd love to fall asleep, I've got a job to do. So if you want to know the full confirmed results at the end, go on to our social medias. They're linked in our channel description. Follow our Instagram, follow our Twitter, join our Discord. Discord's where all of the inside news comes out, as Prada, he's going to find himself about a minute off the back of PX4 game when he comes into the pits. He's going to be gutted with a night, I must say, as Marcel, he's into the pits for his final stop. When you're aiming for points, when you're aiming for your first point, one spot outside the points isn't really a nice feeling, I must say. But with 16 minutes to go then, the people who are running in the points: Juice, Alpha, Cam, Joseph, Kavak, Noffel, Elmer, and PX4. Juice, flawless, I must say. He's not really put a foot wrong. He had a bit of an worrying start. It was a flying start. I think it was from Joseph with an absolute flyer. I think he had to get a bit worried as Noffel and Elmer down towards turn 1, getting their game on here. Down towards turn 1, Noffel's got the inside line. Elmer goes a bit deep. Excuse me, I am really not on it today. They run up the S's then. Noffel's got a good run as Juice is into the pits for his final stop. Alpha, he will also be into the pits. These two don't have to take as much fuel, they've just burnt out to the ends. They only have to take about half a tank. Down to Casio Triangle for Alfa Pino. Into the pits then comes the Irishman. No, he stays out. He's going to get undercutted by... He's just going to go as long as he can. 15 minutes to go then. Kavak, he's gaining on his teammate. That gap's now up to 6 seconds. Has there been a bit of contact there? That looked a bit slow by Elmer and Noffelhog because they run down towards the Dunlop hairpin. Is there a bit of contact? No, it's just a slow turn. Up towards Spoon though, this might be a nice little battle here. We might have to watch out for the battle for 4th as well between the Helix teammates. Noffel's going to want to hold this 6th place. There's no chance he's going to get, unless Kavak actually is a bit of a mare and has a big crash. Turn 1 is possible. Down towards 130 yard, and it's a good run by Elmer. Down towards 130 yard, he's going to go side by side for 130 yard. Elmer backs out, thinks better of it. Noffel though, he's worried there, and he goes drifting. He's going to have the inside line into the Casio Triangle. But Elmer, 1.1 seconds penalty for corner cutting, and that, doing stuff like that's really not going to help your cause. That's where a lot of the penalties actually come from. Just outbreaking yourself into the Casio Triangle, that final chicane, and causing yourself some problems. 13 minutes to go then here at round 3 here at Suzuka. Starting off another free race weekend that we bring to you so kindly here at Gran Turismo EuroLeague. It's been a solid race here, I must say. Can-Am, they're going to need the points. We're going to hope that Noffel can hold on to this this final or this 6th spot. It'll be bringing them 4 points combined with Juice's looking like it's going to be a clean sweep for Juice. 18 points. The Grand Slam as it's known. Pole position, race win and fastest lap. 18 points plus the 4 that it's looking like Noffelhonk will bring back. Unless Elmer can have him. This race is far from done yet. Alfa Pino, he's into the pits van for his final stop with just under 13 minutes to go. 12 minutes and 40 seconds. Noffelhonk is going to be under constant threat from Elmer. Elmer's trying to get try drive on the points board. And if he can do that, which is looking like he will, 2 points or 4 points, no matter what, it will be points nonetheless, which is what he really wants. And it'll literally just leave BRT as the final team that hasn't actually scored any points this season. They have scored in Division 2, but not in Division 3. Down towards 130 yard though. Elmer very close to the back as they run down towards 130 yard. Is he going to go for the move? He tucks back in the slipstream. He thinks better of it. As he down in towards the Casio triangle, Nothong makes that way too easy as he goes a bit deep as I got distracted there. I do apologise. Let's get a quick replay. Actually, they both go wide, so yeah, I'm really not paying attention as Elmer, he just has the better straight line speed. So, Nothong really feeling the pressure then by Elmer, and now Elmer's got a bit of a gap that will cover off his penalty that he's got. And so far, 20 points for Can-Am will do them nicely, but 22 is always 22 is bigger than 20. Doesn't take a rocket scientist to know that. 11 minutes to go then to try and find that time. 50 minutes down, or 49 minutes down, sorry, 11 to go. As Nothong makes his effort to close that gap down. 6 seconds, or near enough 7 seconds is actually the gap between Cam West and Joseph. So then, this race continues. Joe's Realm, big lead he's got. Looking quite comfortable, I must say. I mean, he's not put a foot wrong this race. Juice has been absolutely electric. Alpino, take nothing away from him. He's been flawless as well, but Juice has just been a quicker man over the 50 minutes that we've had so far. Cam West, he's slowly finding his rhythm back, but he's going to have to do a bit more rhythm finding to try and close the gap to his teammate on pace. I mean, people are expecting Cam to do it all, especially after round 1 where it showed like he was the quicker guy at Bathurst. I was also expecting that the Corvettes were going to fall off after round 1. It was maybe just that it was the track, because I know Bathurst very good for the Corvettes, but in his first actual lap, he's just done his outer lap van Alfa Pino. He's already flying for his fastest lap. Is he going to try and take the fastest lap of the race and just try and get himself another point that he can claw away from his teammate? Personal best lap? I don't know what it is, but so far his best time, it won't show, but he's currently 3 tenths up on what his best time was. He runs down towards Spoon Curve. It's a long curve up towards Spoon Curve. The curve called Spoon Curve because it looks like a spoon, and it's a curve. It's a very tricky corner here. Alfa Pino showing us how it's done. Not necessarily nailing every apex, but it's not the easiest thing through there. There's many lines you could take. It's a very tricky section that you have to try and fling your car through, so respects to anyone that can actually do it as they fly through 130 arc. Just the Casio triangle to go then, and the final turn, which is just a flat right-hander, as Alfa Pino's really now putting his foot down and just having a bit of fun. 4-ish laps to go, maybe 5. He sets a 1:59.3. 8 minutes to go then as he comes down towards turn 1. Catches the curb. Lucky he actually doesn't spin it there. It's a very easy place to spin it, down at turn 1, like we've said earlier. Cam West, he's going to be careful not to spin it, because Joseph isn't too far behind. Joseph isn't looking like he's got the pace to catch him, but Cavett definitely does. He's now got the gap down to 3 seconds. So if Cam West or Joseph has a spin, Cavett could definitely catch up to it, because spinning here, you do lose so much time, but these guys haven't really put a foot wrong. These have been some of the most flawless guys on the grid, or on the race today, but there's still a good 4 or 5 laps to go in this race, where there is space to make mistakes. As Cavett, he runs up the S's for the 26th time. 26 laps so far we've had here around Suzuka. It's been a productive day. These guys have been pushing it to their limits here. Down towards the Dunlop hairpin. the slowest part of the track, and it's quite a high-speed track here. There's not many heavy braking zones. I think there's 3 proper heavy braking zones. I mean, Spoon isn't really a heavy braking zone. Let's see as Havoc runs up towards it. You're not fully slamming it on. Send it into third. You're running about 80 miles an hour. An overtake is possible, but it's definitely some unconventional style of hairpin. It's not. Is it a hairpin? What do you guys think? Do you think Spoon's a hairpin? I'd say Spoon's a hairpin, but actually, I don't know. It's not really a tight one, but it is a long-held corner. It's a long-held 180-degree turn. But Havoc, he comes around the final turn to start lap 27. Compare lap times on the past lap then. Joseph, he took time out of Cam, and Joseph also took time out of Havoc, pulled 3 tenths on him. Nothing major, but it is still time nonetheless. As Cam, he's gonna have, 12 seconds to Cam, doesn't really have to worry. Just Cam's probably losing like a second a lap because he's being so cautious. Doesn't want to spin it, because if he drops on a curb, it's a 5-second gap between Joseph, so it's only 80 seconds back to Havoc. This final podium spot is definitely not secure for Cam West, as he runs up towards the Dunlop hairpin. A spin here, I mean, if he puts the power on too soon out of here, catches the curb, he goes round. Even I'll put Spoon here. This race is definitely not over for him. Alfa Pino as well. Alfa Pino, if he is a bit of a mare, he could find himself rejoining very close to Cam. He's only 20 seconds back, and it's so easy to lose a lot of time around here. So, Cam West then around Spoon curve, keeping it nice and clean. Joseph is gaining time, so is Cam struggling. When we saw Joseph be able to take those softs a lot longer. He's on that Corvette, the life of the tyres, a lot shorter. Whereas Joseph's just having some magical final few seconds of, in the final moments, final 5 minutes, is he having a sudden massive turn of pace. He's going to have to take a second a minute out of him. It's a big ask, it's a possible ask. But is he going to make it happen though? That's the thing. See, 3 cars all on the main straight, they're all on the same lap. They're all going to be fighting. There is still all of a chance. I mean, 2 laps to go for them. It's definitely not over yet though. 3 seconds now the gap as Cam seems to very much be struggling. A 2:02.1 last lap. Joseph took some massive amount of time out of him. It's a 2:05, so, or 2:05 as I should say, and he's gone green. So Joseph is on PB pace here compared to Cam, who's really struggling. He's pulling away from Havoc. Joseph though, he knows there's a podium on the cards. And just to think, well, Joseph have been actually, if he didn't go and pelt the barriers, he did it twice. Think how much time he lost there. And if Joseph, he might be gutted that he did that against Cam. Alfa Pino also might be gutted that he couldn't stay in the slipstream range at the start, and he just let Juice roll into the sunset. Remember if at the start he false started. But Joseph, he rides on then through Spoon that gap, 2.2 seconds. It's going to be a big ask. Catching is one thing, overtaking is another, but once you're in the slipstream range, it's a lot easier, and we may have a last lap throwdown here between Cam West and Joseph. He's gaining massively. Havoc, he's safe from Noffelhong behind. I think even with a spin, it's safe to say that Havoc is fine. Prada, he's in 9th. He's gonna be gutted he hasn't. Another race, another no point scoring result then. 1.8 seconds gap on the final lap of the race then. Are we going to see a repeat of Casey versus Dino Rod? It's not going to be done at turn 1. But is it going to be a last lap overtake for the final podium spot then? Joseph, he wants to recreate history. This is why we love Suzuka. This is why we come to Suzuka. 1.5 seconds at the end of the first sector. Joseph is having a flyout. 159.8. And he's gone green again, so he's still got time in him. He's red lighted, but it is the last lap anyway, so it doesn't really matter. He's now got it under a second already in half a lap, as he's now chasing him through the deadness. He's in slipstream range. This is where he really was last time when he was in the dirty area. He span it, so tucked into slipstream again. Gonna hope to gain at least a 10th of the run, up towards the Dunlop hairpin. He's gonna want a really good exit. Get as much speed as he can all the way up to Spoon. He does seem like he's got a good exit there. Let's see the timing screens. Yeah, he's 3 tenths out of him. And he's in that slipstream. The Corvette's better power now, really pulling away, but even though Joe's in the slipstream, that Porsche doesn't have the best straight line speed as they're gonna run down towards the final turn. Juicy's now started his last lap. Alfa Pino's gonna start his last lap. But Joseph and Cam's gonna be deep into the final, into Spoon. Joseph tucks right into the slipstream as they run down towards 130 yards. It's gonna be our last lap overtake out 130 yard. What scenes this would be for Joseph. He's got to go the long way round, tucks back into the slipstream. He's going to go the long way round then on Cam West. Tried to find a bit of a gap on the inside line. Can't quite find it. Cam West goes very wide. So does Joseph. Joseph follows through down towards the final chicane through to the Castillo triangle. Joseph can't quite find a gap, and if he didn't run off, I think Cam might be safe here. As he comes round the final turn, then time's going to tick out. Round the final turn, Cam will take 3rd. Joseph will take 4th. Couldn't quite get it done. Kavak's going to come round any second now to take 5th round the final turn. Cal's going to be after that after qualifying in 6th. He gains positions. Not full honk though as he comes through 130 yard in that bright metallic oil spilt looking Ferrari. The Swede, after starting 11th after not setting a quali lap or a respectable quali lap anyway with his engine damage problems, across the line he comes into 6th. Elmer, he scores the first points for try driving 7th, and Prada, he finishes down in 9th. PX4 Gaming, he's cutting the chicane massively, and he's going to come across the line to finish in 8th, sorry, as he rounds out the points paying positions. Frege, it's been a poor day for him as he finishes 10th, but the first lap for him was terrible. And then Juice Romi's got a bit of a dry lap, but around the final turn then, Juice Ram will win round 3 of GTEL Division 3 Championship. He reserved the race. He will win it though for Can-Am. He'll be giving them all of the points, and Alfa Pino in 2nd will extend his lead at the top of the championship to Cam West. He's going to be the last to finish, but Juice Ram, he wins. And that might be a final farewell for him, as he's going to go into a bit of a hiatus, take a bit of a break then. Alfa Pino around the final turn. He will take home 2nd, but congratulations Juice Ram, well done Alfa Pino, well done Cam West. Joseph here, the brilliant race I must say. It says everyone was a lap down, but they wasn't really. So then, it's a brilliant race there. Unofficial confirmation of the results there. Juice Rome, he wins, followed by Alfa Pino and Cam West. The Night Shift boys running out the podium. Helix, 4th and 5th, are going to be happy with that. Solid points. And then Noffel Honk in 6th. Solid day for Can-Am as they start gaining points, as they start putting respectable points on the board with a win today and a 6th place. Elmer gets the first points for Try Drive and PX4 Gaming. He's going to be the best of the independents today, as he's going to help close that gap at the top of the independents with 8th place. Prada outside the points again, he's going to be gutted with that, and then Fridge and Marcel round out the grid. I'll round out the results. I've been in. Thank you for watching. Join me tomorrow 7 PM UK time for GTEL Division 2 Round 3 here at Suzuka, 7 PM British Summer Time. I'll see you then.